First, I need to make sure everything cool. What's going on, everybody? This is Allison Jones. You are tuned in to Mental Health to Wealth. I am here with Chef Mal,
Hey.
owner of Doggone Vegans. She's also an alchemist. She has her own lounge. And we're going to find out more about what she's creating, her journey through health and wellness, and also just some other things going on social media that she's encountered throughout the pandemic, as far as like just being able to voice her opinion and just inform people and empower people with information. But more than anything, we definitely gonna make sure that we stay in the aspects of bridging the gap between mental health to wealth, because that's the most important thing. And she's bringing health and wellness, and she's a business owner. So, I mean, it's pretty much a game changer. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm well. Glad we finally got the kinks out because I was stripping. I was like, I don't know what happened. So I don't know how. I'm not a technical person anyway. For real, for real.
Right. No,
So,
I feel you for sure. All right,
but yeah,
cool.
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, everything cool. Same thing. Just
You still doing events and stuff with Julius?
yeah, well, not I've been doing a lot of internal like things on my own.
Yeah.
So really it's just been kind of like a hermit mode for me.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
you.
but I've been just creating more, which is why I did mental health to wealth.
Yeah.
I really just want to start bringing out. I had a lot of years where I was pretty much just kind of like expending myself by
Yeah.
helping everyone. And
Yeah.
so now I'm just like, hey, we still got to put our stuff out. And
Yeah.
then I can come back and kind of start working, collaborating and working. And that's a part of what this is too. Just me collaborating with people that I'm aware of, and also informing other people that I know, like on all of my platforms, like on Facebook, definitely on Facebook, because that's more like I have more people there that I have more personal interactions with.
Yeah.
So, and even on Instagram too. But the main goal is just like, I know that everybody still doesn't know certain information.
Yeah.
I found that out. It was interesting because I was wearing the assets over liabilities sweatshirt, and I was inside this HR office, and the guy was like, he was like maybe like a director, or he was like he had a higher status, like an executive in the HR office or whatnot. And we were talking, and I had mentioned assets over liabilities, and he was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "No," but at the same time, I was like, "You know what? This is a teaching lesson," because for me, it was just like, "Oh, there are still plenty of people, not that I didn't know, but even people in positions that you think like they may know certain information."
Well, we found that out this year, right?
Yeah, man, but
I mean,
right, and that's
I
true.
mean, it's so much. We literally. I saw a meme a while ago, and it said, we're living a time where you could literally be standing next to another person, and they would be living in a completely different world. Like,
Yes,
and
yes.
that's facts. Like, I feel like literally, I feel like every time I go outside and go to the store or something, I feel like an alien.
No, it's that serious. Like I definitely get that. And that's it's real interesting because that's really usually how I feel. Like I recognize that not like everybody's going through their own cycles.
Yeah,
And then not only that, but um yeah, like because everybody has their own perspectives in their own mind. Like imagine driving down the highway and you thinking that somebody's paying attention to you and they're really not, which is how most accidents occur because most people really not paying attention. Like I can count on my hands how many thoughts I probably had passed through my mind while we're driving.
right.
So then imagine then you're adding in a cell phone and then you're like, wait, hold on, I gotta, because everybody we know people still texting and driving and doing all these extra things. So it's like, everybody is literally in their own world.
Yeah,
Like, all
facts.
those
Like the people are literally, especially when you have a environment and society and like different groups of people in different positions in life who
right,
have the ability to kind of hone all of us in. We're in whatever world we're in right now. You can
right,
have advertisement in any world.
yeah, right,
You know, like because we're such a suggestive beings, and so like in any world that you're in, you can always have some type of advertisement, some type of marketing that'll catch your eye. Like the globalists and the handlers and the people who own the media and stuff, they are really good at promo.
right,
But
for
we
sure.
also we all are really
Yeah,
good at promo, you know,
right, right,
because we're
right.
our biggest promoter anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So tell us, how did you tell me? I know we were just having our discussion, but let the
Yeah.
everybody know, like, yeah. So where are you from? How did you get started on your health and wellness journey? How did you like, what inspired you to go into business? How did that all transition?
Well, I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Um, I
Okay.
moved around a lot, so I always kind of sometimes tell people I'm a nomad
Okay.
because I have moved around so much, and not because I'm a military brat. I don't. My dad's not in the military. I
Gotcha.
have two different dads who live in two different places, and my mom, when she remarried, we moved to Georgia, and I grew up in Georgia a little bit. I literally grew up probably the most important years, and I went to Creekside. Well, I went to Crabapple for middle
I,
school,
okay.
and then I went to Creekside for high school. But in the middle of my junior year, I ended up moving to Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah, culture shock. Real talk,
Yeah, for
real
sure.
culture shock, right? So I ended up moving to Arkansas and going to school out there to finish out, high school or whatever. So then from there, I went to college in Missouri at Missouri Southern. And then after college, moved back to Arkansas for a little bit. Then I moved back to Atlanta for like 6 years.
Got it.
And then after I moved out of Atlanta, I was there, how life changes and you here to do some work, but your paths don't make sense most of the time.
Right. So you're like,
Like you just kind of in this trust, mode. So I ended up leaving Atlanta to come to Charlotte and to start Doggone Vegans, and here we are.
that's dope though.
Yeah.
So when you went to Charlotte, how was the vegan scene? Because I
So
know
when I
I know of a few businesses, but I think you may have been open a little bit longer than that. But I don't know, it might be the same. But well, no, they're in Raleigh. But like, how was
which
the
one is
vegan
it?
scene when you? Hmm?
What business in Raleigh?
It is called dang, girl.
It's a vegan business though.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, they're raw. They do raw food.
Yeah. Oh,
They
okay.
still cook, but they do raw foods too.
Oh, okay.
Cause I think
I
they
don't
were
know.
in this they were in the market over there at UNC. It's called Dog. It was like, I think it was Dogwood something. It was like a market over there in the campus. So they had a spot there, and then they have a location like at this old it's over there where the mall. I don't know. It used to be a mall because I remember because my grandmother, my dad's family, he's from Durham, and so we used to go to this mall like near the highway. I forgot the name of it, but they're over like in that area. I'll get the name to you before we end this.
Yeah, because we work with a lot of people from Raleigh, Durham. We've done a couple events in South Carolina. We do Virginia.
Oh,
We just
vegan
recently
flavor,
did Richmond. Huh?
vegan flavor cafe.
Vegan. I haven't been there.
Okay, yeah, it's called Vegan Flavor Cafe. Yeah, they real
Yeah.
cool. They real cool. It's a
Okay.
couple that owns the restaurant. Yeah, it's cool.
I feel like I've heard of them though, but I mean, like, the vegan scene is so big now.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's crazy because I'm in the vegan restaurant industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the vegan restaurant industry is multiplied monumentally since I first started doggone vegan. Since I first started going plant based. Like I remember when before Beyond Meat, before Impossible, before Slutty Vegan, before before all of these major vegan iconic references.
Right.
It's crazy. Like the vegan restaurant industry is so big now. When I first
Yeah,
moved here,
it
and it's
is.
really really big in Atlanta. But when I first moved to Charlotte, it wasn't that. I mean, it was cool. It was still kind of moving. Like, Charlotte is nothing like Atlanta though. Like, it's nothing like people always say that Charlotte is like a little Atlanta. It is, but it's not.
You're
Like
like,
it is, but it's not. Like it's
right.
I'm pretty much from Atlanta. So I kind of, there's a ton of there was vegan restaurants like on every corner in Atlanta. But
Yeah,
in Charlotte, when we first came down here with doggone vegans, it was cool. And like you had a lot of vendors that like there was this one place we first started. It's called the Barn, and it's out here in Charlotte. And it was literally just like a little barn house in a parking lot. And we
and
would come and set up there other, local vegan vendors in the area. And it was like a cool little, market, like a farmer's market almost. And that's when it was
nice.
like, it was just cool, a couple people come, we hang out, there's music, there's games, there's desserts, there's food,
Right,
it's a whole little vibe. And
right.
then the vegan scene just kind of blew up, like literally right after that.
Right.
And there's vegan spots and vegan vendors and vegan food trucks and all kind of vegan stuff all over the place now.
Yeah, because I've been seeing different stuff, like different little spot or like truck, yeah, food trucks like popping up and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, okay, look at y'all
it's
might
dope
have to
though.
take
It's
me a trip
That's the whole
that
point.
way.
Like that's the whole point is to, help people try, because like people always think vegan food, and I don't even really like to use the word vegan because, I feel like
Yeah, that part.
it
Yeah,
done been capitalized now. Like it's
right.
not
Plant,
even, it's
yeah,
plant based,
based,
just
yeah.
more of a conscious foodie is my term.
Right. And I can agree with that because even when I say it, I'm like, why am I still saying vegan? Like,
Yeah,
because I mean, when you already know certain things, you just kind of you stay that route
yeah,
because
yeah,
we know how
yeah,
trends go and
yeah. I
and
mean,
now
yeah, that and you got people who get so uptight about the word vegan, like, cause in my business, doggone vegans, like I use honey, and
okay,
I
yeah,
like fight
okay,
me, I don't care. Like I still believe in honey. There's so many amazing benefits that honey has. Like
okay,
I'm not gonna not use honey, So
right. Just
I
because
and I
somebody
and I
said, "But
when people
the
ask,
bees grew up,"
yeah, like
right,
listen, some people really be getting mad, and I just be like, you know what? When they asked if we use honey, and I'm like, I proudly say yes, raw, unfiltered, and organic.
right, right, right. Like, yeah, and I mean, and at the end of the day, it's just like it's a person's choice. Like you got some people that just like hardcore, and if
Oh
that's the case, they're probably not using no sweeteners or nothing.
yeah,
Then you have people that are still transitioning,
yeah,
and you have all type of aspects. So it's like you
yeah,
can't be everybody's
yeah. Everybody is
perception.
arriving at the time they're supposed to arrive to
Right,
whatever point they're supposed to get to. Like, I always like to say everything is happening exactly the way it should.
right. Even when it looks crazy, it's like
Yeah,
nope,
even
this
when
is
it look crazy.
right. It's like yeah, it's crazy, but this is
Yeah,
this is
even when it look crazy.
cool. Okay, so okay, so during the okay, so let me I gotta make sure I stick to these questions though,
Mhm.
so I can just insert them. Okay, so we got your story on like how you ended up in Charlotte and becoming a chef. Like, were you already like being like cooking or like in that industry or
So, I like to think of myself as a third generation cook. Because my grandfather, he used to cook at the church when I was younger all the time, and I used to always help my grandparents make sweet potato pies and like different stuff for his kids and things like that. And my grandfather, he also was one of the head chefs at the country club, and so we always kind of had good food. And then my mom, she had a catering business, and I used to help her do weddings and stuff, but she mostly did like cakes and things like that. And so
Okay.
I guess, as I got older and started to come into my gifts and, understanding the things that I like to do, the things I'm good at, and realizing, I want to work for myself at some point.
Got you. Okay, cool.
um, I started to do catering myself. I started off doing sweets. Like I started off baking and doing cupcakes and dessert tables, cake
Right.
pops and chocolate covered treats and all that stuff. And then I started to kind of transition into just food. And then I started to transition into just plant-based food.
Got you. Okay.
So
Got you.
yeah,
Okay.
but I didn't go to culinary school.
Right.
I literally watched a lot of Food Network, taught myself, and I just love flavors. Like I have a knack for flavors and seeing colors and food and stuff. So it's something that I just naturally really like, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's like it's just a part of your like your God given sense and ability.
Yeah,
So just this that's your
it's my
what they say
thing,
your anointing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
your
it's my
magic.
thing. Yeah, that's
Right.
my magic. Like I can alchemize any recipe. It's hard for me to follow recipes because I always end up
That
doing my
part.
own thing anyway.
That part. I thought it was just I was like, you know what? I yeah, it's like I follow the recipe, but then it's like after that I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it
Yeah,
back like y'all did it because I didn't. It was a good recipe, but I didn't really like it. So I'm gonna just kind
yeah,
of. And then
yeah.
if I'm
I mean,
creating something myself, it's just like,
yeah. I mean, and I feel like that's how we are. Like cooking is a life skill, Only recipes are found in books.
right,
You think of you remember these flavors and these colors, and you find them in your heart, and you bring them to your pot, right? Like
right,
it's really just food is memories, Like we
yeah,
remember certain flavors and certain things that we really like, and so that those are the ways we kind of develop flavor in different dishes, and
right,
signature ones, that only you
right,
can make.
right. And I guess recipes would be good to just like if you're really trying to explore something new,
Yeah,
but haven't really like
yeah.
you can't really come up with it. So you're like, let me try this. But once you
And
get
you
it, then
really
you
just
like,
need the basics.
yeah,
A cup of flour, cup of sugar, cup of milk. you know?
right, right, definitely. All right, cool. So let's okay, so well, I mean that's pretty much like a part of the aha moments. But as far as in your craft, well, let's get into like health and wellness like in our communities
Mhm.
and just what you were doing during the pandemic and as far
Well,
as your just talk about like your I guess your experience during the pandemic on social media and with like just your customer base, your fan base, and like the products and services that you were offering.
so okay, so I am a full-time entrepreneur. And so I was already, because, for 2020 was crazy, but for a lot of people, but for me, 2020 was like one of the best years ever. I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm learning to not apologize for my joy because for a lot of
Right.
people, it really was not that great. But for me,
Yeah.
like, it was one of the best years of
Like
my life.
try.
Like seriously, like
Right.
we came up during the pandemic, we came up during the pandemic, and Our customer base was still cool. We didn't really change, like when like certain events started to get canceled and stuff, because you pay for these vendor events ahead of time,
Yeah.
and most of them you don't get your money back. So
Right.
$150 here, $250 there. For the 275 for this vendor fee, you got to pay them in advance. A lot of them want their money up front.
Right.
And then you find out it's canceled, and you already say, oh, I consent to not, being able to get my money back.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so you don't get your money back for these things. But we
Dang.
just, I like to believe I'm the queen of pivot, right? So when that type of stuff started to happen, we was like, okay, bet. Well, we just gonna do pre-order and pickup out at the garage.
Right. Exactly.
Like, okay, we put the time slots up there, and our customers hit us up, told us what they wanted, paid, and came and picked it up at that time slot. So we had a little system going.
Right.
Like
Nice.
people was still like, cause like, I like to think of social media as like building your own little matrix,
Yeah. Definitely.
if you have something to offer, people are going to be interested, like
Yeah.
once you spark somebody's attention, and then you let them taste your food, and then you show them all these colors and advertisement and stuff, and people are going to still come and flock to your page because you're offering something of value. People want to be entertained, people want really good food, and people like to scroll on Instagram.
Yeah. For sure.
And you have like 2 seconds to get somebody's attention. So,
And
so
especially with food, like that's always
yeah,
gonna be like, wait, hold on, let me go get
people
one
were
more.
still hungry during the pandemic. People
Heck
still wanted to
yeah.
eat, like that was closing restaurants was closing their doors.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you had business owners, restaurant business owners and stuff that was like not working and was closing their doors and just was like giving up. And we was
Right.
like,
Oh,
shoot,
instead of
we
yeah,
like,
instead of
nah,
making that
we
pivot.
can still get to this bag.
Right.
Like people still want to eat our food. So we didn't
Right.
stop.
Right.
We just didn't stop. We just didn't stop. We just started doing pre-order and pickup. And our customers liked that better because they didn't have to wait in line.
Yep.
They didn't have to wait in line. They got their order when for the most part, everything is food. So sometimes you mess up, but
Yeah.
for the most part, everybody got their food on time, and everybody was happy, with their doggone vegans. So we pivoted during the pandemic, and it was great. And then as far as Imagine Eating, my other business, like I said, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Like that's the thing about entrepreneurship. You have to have multiple streams of income. You can't just
Right.
depend on one. So Imagine Eating is my other business, which is my baby. Like it's the first one I started. And so I already had a website in place. I had our people already knew about my elderberry syrup. People already knew about my teas and stuff. And so when the pandemic hit, everybody was on their phone buying stuff because I was too. Everybody was
Right.
on their phone buying stuff, which is what this is designed for, right?
Exactly.
So everybody's on their phone buying stuff, and and then they hyping this virus up in the background, like, oh, like I'm so over the COVID era. Like I'm so over the COVID era. Like
Right.
the COVID, I'm done with the COVID saga. Y'all can have it. I'm done with the COVID saga.
Right.
But
Like when did it end?
but so yeah, we pivoted in the pandemic, but when all that hit, I was already in position. That's the thing. Like you have to already be in position to take
Right. That's the
advantage
part.
of these type of opportunities, and it's called work. Like you actually gotta work towards it. You actually gotta
Right.
do some shit, like you
Yeah.
can't just will it to be,
Right.
you know. You
And
actually
just
have to
hope
get
that
in
we
there.
happen.
Yeah. I mean, because doggone vegans is it's still a lot of work. Like
Right.
I'm doing both, like managing orders from Imagine Eating. Because I make everything from scratch, like all of my teas. Like I'm very particular how I make them. I don't like to be in a hurry and a rush when I make them because I'm trying to also put good energy into these teas and these
Right.
this elderberry syrup, because people are really people you people are really just kind of looking for a miracle, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But then you have people who really also know the benefits of, plant medicine, and who really appreciate the intention that you put into something when you make it. And so I like to never miss. And so I take my time when I make my elderberry syrup and stuff, because I like to be very intentional. I don't like certain things playing in the background when I'm
Yeah,
making it. Like, I'm very intentional about the energy that is going on when I'm making my tea blends or whatever. So I already had that system in place. I was already in a groove with things, getting orders every week from that, doing doggone vegans on the weekends. So when the whole pandemic hit, everybody was buying all kinds the herbalists came up in 2020. Most of them did.
right.
If you were herbalist and you didn't really
Oh
come
yeah,
up,
for sure.
you know, most people, because I mean, like you look at we have so many lies going out in the mainstream media now. There's so much propaganda. Nobody really knows who to trust.
Right,
And so more for the people who's not always trust the science, and who knows kind of a holistic lifestyle,
right,
they will kind of tune their attention to more. Okay, so I need some type of vitamin C. Okay, I need some type of herbal remedy. Okay, I need some elderberries are really great. Like you start to, when you start to hear this information, you start to, flock towards the people who have been doing it for a while, who's already been
yeah,
in position. So I mean, I was already there, and it just happened when I was already there. Like
right.
it's not something that I started in 2020.
20,
I was
right,
already in
exactly.
position.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about business, especially if you just keep going. Like it's like your day is coming. And
Yeah,
even if it's still gonna be longer than a day, because when you're in business, you're either there for the long run, or you're gonna tap out or
yeah,
whatever. But what I realized too is that a lot of people, this is about like this entire decade is going to show a lot of, well, the pandemic did it itself, to see like if people could really persevere through certain environments, or
yeah,
like you say, if they could pivot a certain way, because a lot of businesses are, they haven't really even hit the 10-year mark of where they say, hey, that mark where it's like once you hit your 10 years, then you
yeah,
really in there. So it's
yeah.
like, so like I'm excited to see how everybody continues to just like innovate and keep going.
Right,
Just with, even with the changes on social media and stuff,
right.
you know,
I mean, because
and
with the changes, we have to do business different now.
yeah, right. And probably even set up your own, like you're doing, setting up your own platform to where people can come directly to you if they're to be even more engaged,
Yeah,
and to even get more hands-on, one-on-one, access to where they can just be a part of the process or even learn the process. So I mean, it's a very interesting time that we're in right now,
mm-hmm,
even outside of the pandemic.
yep,
um, I also noticed that a lot of people wait until, I didn't realize it until I kept hearing it. And I realized a lot of people wait until they're at that, I don't want to say like maybe that dying moment, or that moment where the sickness is just like the doctor's like, you may not be here in 3 months,
yeah,
to really get into the naturopathic way, or to get into the herbs,
yeah,
and then two, because they hearing it from other people, and they like, look, you need to go ahead and do this, you need to do this, do this, do this.
yeah,
But using herbs and everything is like a proactive
yeah.
thing,
It is.
before.
It is.
So right. So it's like, so it's interesting. And like you said, a lot of people came up during the pandemic, especially if you had sea moss. Sea
Oh,
moss,
sea
elderberry
moss,
syrup.
sea
Like everywhere I
moss.
turn.
Oh my God. I didn't do see. prefer the purple one, but it's so much controversy with sea moss right now.
Right.
Like it's like, does it really have 102 of the night? Does it really have 92
And I,
minerals?
right,
Oh, that it's so much controversy over sea moss now. Lord help us.
right.
We are, well, as a society, we need to chill sometimes.
For
Like
real.
we need to chill sometimes. But yeah, if you still, I mean, still people are doing, and sea moss is great. I'm not saying that it's not great. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, no.
you know, you have people that kind of jumped into these, because they saw the opportunity.
Right.
But people also had to pivot. Like they had to figure out, well, okay, I can't work right now, but I still need to make some money.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, like it's the people have everybody has a different reason holistically how they, started they side hustle.
Yeah,
So it just
exactly. And really the pandemic was for the hustlers. Like
yeah,
and
it
not in
was.
that and
It
not
was.
necessarily like you hustling somebody. It was just more so like, can you make that pivot? Can you make that change? Are you intuitive enough to see what's going on and say, okay, yeah, I need to do this because this is what people asking for, and I know where to get it from. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a quick flip, or you know, just supply and demand. Really, that's really all it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
And
it really
especially since
was.
the stores, all stores are not like providing this, and
Mhm.
we are in a direct to consumer environment. So it's like most people want to deal with people they know, like, and trust. So
Mhm.
even if I'm looking for CMOS and I know somebody and they like, oh yeah, I think every time I met somebody, it was like, oh yeah, I know somebody that got some CMOS. I'm like, everybody knows somebody got CMOS now.
Everybody knows like
And it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing because it's like it show you like more people are becoming aware of certain things.
yeah.
But like you said, at the
But it's some
same
scams
time,
out there. That's the
that's
thing.
what I was
That's
about
where
to
you got to
say.
be
The
careful.
integrity
It's some
behind it.
scammers out there. Like I'm
Yes,
big on integrity and I'm big on the way I prepare certain things, even my food. Like it's some people who don't care. They just throwing plates together and
that
like it
part.
is what it is. Like this is my hustle. I gotta, and that's something that I never wanted because like you can feel that when like companies start to franchise and like you go to like this, and if you had it when it was in your city and it
Yeah,
was so good and then you come back later and have the same thing that you always get and it don't taste the same, it's like, wait a
right.
minute,
The
like, this
consistency is
ain't,
not there.
yeah, it's not there, it's just different. And I know eventually doggone vegans is gonna grow and like be like huge. And I just wanna always keep that there's that thing that people experience when they come
Right,
and try your food. There's that
right,
thing that people know and experience when they take your herbal remedy concoction that you made or whatever. Because like people when they order, I have regular customers. Like I have customers that I have had for since I started 3 years ago, like still
nice.
ordering from me. And they're
Okay,
like, yo, girl, I make sure I budget this out every month because this is liquid gold.
right,
But
exactly.
this is also community. This is also how we build community and help move culture forward because we all support each other and we all
Right,
come up together.
right, exactly.
So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's just, we have there you have people who kind of have been in the game for a while, and then you have people who are kind of babies at it. But then you have really genuine, passionate people. Then you got people who just want to scam, and then you got young, niggas gonna be niggas type of people. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just, cause
Who made
girl,
some Kool-Aid sea moss pops?
it was
like, like
so
really? That's what we doing?
yeah. And it's good. Like sea moss is great. It is but it's a holistic lifestyle. You have to incorporate more than just sea moss, in your
Right,
life. Like it's not the end all be all cure all,
right,
thing.
exactly.
There's so many different things that go into play in a well being.
Right. And what about black seed oil? What made
Oh,
you
black seed oil. Oh, black seed oil
that's a
is
hit?
amazing. Like black seed oil, and we just used to use it for our skin and hair. I really started learning about how amazing black seed oil was a couple of years ago for the respiratory system and basically like everything.
Right.
You
Right.
know, there's antibiotic properties, antimicrobial properties. Like it helps with your digestive system. It helps with gut
Right.
issues. It helps with your lymphatic system. It helps with your respiratory. I mean, like helps. It's like an anti-cancer agent. Like it's amazing. Like it does so many different things. You know,
Right.
and it's the potency of the seed oil. So seeds are
Right.
so like we've been taught so long not to eat seeds, but seeds have so many amazing properties, you know, to
Yeah.
them. We're supposed to eat the seeds. We're
Right.
supposed to eat the skin, you know, we're supposed to eat the green leafy part on the strawberry. Like we're supposed to
Right.
eat the whole thing.
Right. Just like the watermelon. I remember one day I got a watermelon and I was like, you know what? The like the rind was just too watery. It was too juicy for me not to just like put it in the blender too. And I was like, I'm just gonna blend everything. And like it
Yeah,
still tastes it didn't taste any different. It tasted
yeah,
the same. All
yeah,
it did was turn into water,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and you know, you hydrate off of it. But that's why they also, you know, giving putting out so much seedless
yeah,
you know, things because it's like, well, yeah, we're definitely not gonna give you this because
yeah.
we really
Well,
knew.
yes, the GMO industry, the genetically modified foods. You know, we have the monopolies who like
Right,
to crossbreed biological kingdoms, and you know, you get plants that don't seed anymore. It's you know,
right,
like they're literally biologically engineering seeds. And you know, Bill Gates, he's owning like most of like farmland now, and
yeah,
he has like the organic heirloom seeds in a vault.
right, yeah, right, yeah, that part.
So but you know, I like to believe because plants are so amazing. They're so intelligent. You know, like
Yeah,
they speak the first language that we still speak. We just aren't in consciousness of it until we are around like nature and plants and stuff like that and learn about the heartbeat of the universe. But you
right,
know, plants' first language is like telepathy, and they are energetically in tune already. So once you put them in organic soil and start grooming them in a holistic and organic way,
right,
you basically holistically remedied your genetically modified. Because I planted a butternut squash this year,
right,
and I don't butternut squash isn't genetically modified right now or anything, but it was an organic butternut squash. You know,
yeah,
like it was like it started with the four, because you know when they start with a nine, they're organic. And if they
right,
start with like a four or three, those numbers, they're like either pumped with pesticides or it's genetically modified. But butternut squash isn't genetically modified yet. They haven't gotten that one yet, but
oh,
they
that's
don't
cool.
use organic soil. They use like synthetic fertilizer and synthetic soil and stuff. And so
Yeah,
that's the problem with those vegetables. But I grew it in my back on my back porch this year, and it grew beautifully and grew beautiful butternut squash, and it had seeds. They had seeds in them. So
nice, that's
I
dope.
like to think that if you put it in organic soil and treat it in an organic and holistic way, you can remedy your plants back too, because they will grow.
Right, and once it grows, one time it can do it again.
Yeah, because that's why I'm big on saving seeds. Like if, I don't know if you started saving seeds yet, but start saving seeds, because we're gonna come to a point where we're gonna need to grow our own food. Like that's gonna be a
Right,
necessity again, you
right.
know?
And that's I have a cousin. That's what he does. Like he has a home. He got like all this property, and he literally just went through and created like this beautiful garden farm of everything. Like he
Yeah.
got like I want. He had what was that? A black apple tree. He said they drove to. I think they drove to Alabama or Tennessee. One of them because they couldn't find it here. Okay, I guess it grows at a certain time. And so
Mhm.
they drove there and got that, and then he had like a little elderberry tree, and I was like, elderberry tree, what the hell?
Yeah.
But that was my first time like really seeing it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So
It's
I thought
beautiful.
about for myself, I thought about like doing microgreens until I get to a space where like I can put things outside. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna do like microgreens because I heard that they're good for
You
like
can
indoor, and I like
you
hydroponic type stuff too.
Yeah, hydroponics is good, but we gonna need to know how to do both because you can't do
Yeah,
hydroponics with all of the plants,
right.
the edible plants. But I have you can do hydroponics now. Like I grow like some of my lettuces in a hydroponic vessel, and so
Got it.
I'm growing basil and red chard and stuff like that. And you can grow stuff in the windowsill. If you got a sunny window, you can grow
Yeah,
stuff
definitely.
there. You can even grow like a tiny Tim tomato plant in your house if you have a sunny window. You just need
Yeah,
to
I
fertilize
definitely
it every week.
got it. Yeah, I definitely got the sunny window.
Yeah, you can. Like no matter how small because I just have like a little balcony, apartment balcony, and I am growing food back there.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So what are some? Let's see. Let me see if this is what I want to ask. What are some type of things? Okay, cool. So like as far as when you um like what okay, so what are some important things that people should know about like what you offer that can help them see a new way to explore like health and wellness? I know we kind of just went through that a bit as far as just breaking down
Mhm.
some of the products that you offer, like the elderberry syrup, black seed oil. What else do you offer again? One more. It was one more.
So I have
The
the
teas.
elderberry. I have three different kinds. I have the respiratory remedy, the original elderberry syrup, cold and flu, and then I have the elder C. It's got 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C in it. And then I have the mooning menstrual tea, which is the one that helps with regulating menstrual cycles and balancing hormones, and it just has several herbs in it that has an affinity to the female reproductive system.
Right.
And I have the parasite cleanse, which is something that I usually do while I'm doing like a raw vegan challenge or a raw vegan diet type of lifestyle. I like to do the parasite cleanse to kind of help flush, anything that's because like parasites, they just kind of attach to hosts and it just kind of like, sucks it and depletes it until you are malnourished.
Right.
Um, that's another blend that I have. And then I have the soothing hibiscus tea, which is really great for winter time, but it's also really good for summertime too because you can drink it cold or hot. Um,
It
but it's
sounds
really good for your nervous system, and it also has elderberries in it. It's got natural vitamin C in it with the rose hips and the hibiscus. So
mhm.
it's like L'Oreal, I guess, for a lot of people, but Chef Mouse now.
Right. That's what I'm tasting. Like I'm listening you say hibiscus and I'm like, yeah, that sounds so good right now.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I have several different teas online. I have a men's blend right now, but I don't have it in stock right now because um, some of the herbs that I use, my suppliers have been out of it, and so I'm very like I don't. It's only certain suppliers I like to use because I like to know where it came from. I'm very big
Yeah,
on how it was. I try to stick to companies that have ethics and integrity.
yeah, definitely.
You can trust that they haven't, done some shady stuff because a lot of these companies be involved in stuff and you funding the business.
Right. Yeah, because I remember seeing, I don't know if that was if you posted about it, but I remember seeing a post about mountain rose herbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Yeah. Because that's one of my go-to spots, but they fixed that real quick.
Right, exactly.
They fixed that real quick. And we was like, oh no,
Yeah, they
y'all
was like,
cannot
shut
be.
it down.
Yeah. So they stopped. It was the Dead Sea that they were sourcing from over there. It was over in Israel, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so they stopped sourcing it from them because that it was highly unethical at the
Right.
time.
Exactly.
So
And every-
yeah, they shut that down real quick because a lot of us, a lot of us
right.
buy from them, and so they're like, okay, yeah, we gotta chill out on this. So
Right. Because if we stop buying, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna go
we was
back to the
we was
regular sales.
we was emailing. Look, we was tagging them on Instagram.
Right. They was like, "We can get to the bottom of this."
Right, they fixed that real quick.
I would say it
So
was so
so
have
yeah,
you
the
you haven't
teas and
experienced
then
it?
huh?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was like, have you haven't experienced like any well have you experienced like any supply chain
Oh,
issues with like
yes.
vendors or the people that you deal with?
Yes. Uh, so, and this breaks my heart, but I use peanut oil because, well, we were using peanut oil because I try to stay away from soy as much as possible, and all of your vegetable oils now are
Hmm.
just genetically modified soy. So
Right.
I try to stay away from vegetable oils at all. And so peanut oil, even when you go to the grocery store and you read the ingredients and a lot of the vegetable oils, it has like a whole bunch of mixes of oils, cottonseed oil, canola oil, and vegetable oil is usually like a combination of three different kinds of genetically modified oils. And
Yeah, that's
so I like to count chemicals.
mhm.
So I would get peanut oil because it literally has one ingredient in it, which is peanut oil.
Right.
Peanuts. That's it. And so it was $34 for 4 gallons of peanut oil that we use to fry our shrimp and different things in.
Yeah.
And now it's like triple. It's like $60 for some peanut oil. So we had to cut costs there. And then also, certain just everything is rising in price. Like the brown sugar that used to be $4.88 for the big bag at Sam's Club is, going up $1.50. Just
Right.
different things that are different. And cauliflower is still pretty good. Most of like the leafy
Yeah.
greens are still good, but organic has already been expensive. So we've kind of
Yeah.
already been buying things expensive. We haven't had too big of a hit now, like the to go boxes and stuff like that,
Right.
gloves, like we hit some shortages there. But the cool thing is my mom, she lives in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is like Walmart hometown.
Right. Okay, got
So
you.
her Walmart and Sam's Clubs would have stuff that we didn't have, and she would send it to me.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah,
Mama's
so
like,
we
where
kind
do
of
I get it from?
yeah, so it just worked out. It just worked out so great and so cool. So, but yeah, we've experienced some supplier issues. Like even our vegan coconut shrimp. One of the main
Just
things
thinking
we use the vegan shrimp from Belief, right? And they were having some little supplier issues, and but that only lasted for a week, and we got right back to it. So
right.
I mean, it's just been like little hiccups here and there, but I feel like we've already been spending a lot of money on food just because of the nature of the style of food, like
Right.
vegan for
Yeah,
one.
for
And then,
sure.
some of the items that we use, I use non-GMO, and I go to certain brands that I believe in and that I, know are somewhat ethical in their practices. So
Right.
I try to source organic and non-GMO as much as I can because I feel like when people eat my food, that's one less genetically modified food, one less, chemical cocktail, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I try to incorporate, fresh things on top of the dogs. It's just a mix of a little bit of everything to kind of make everybody, you know, feel fulfilled,
Right, right,
and
right.
have that experience with plant-based food. So
Right. Especially that first time experience.
yeah.
Because I like the fact that there are so many different businesses and vendors and places that are offering plant-based and vegan foods so that people can just just have their options wide
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Or literally, it's just like saving a whole bunch of stuff on Google Maps and saying, okay, I'm gonna go here this weekend, go here tomorrow, go here this day, because that's literally what you're doing most of the time. I
Yeah.
know that's what I do. I sit up here and save. I find something, I'm like, okay, so I will travel here. Let me save this so I can go to this state to visit this place, or make sure that I stop here while I'm on my way there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Like
beautiful
we're
thing.
literally creating our own little virtual green books.
Right, definitely.
Like
So
where where you know where they at in that city, so you gonna go over there, So
right.
yeah.
So
But
tell
it's
everybody,
cool.
so how
Like,
did you what was the main reason you created the Alchemist Lounge?
so the Alchemist Lounge is for one, Instagram is doing a cleansing, right? Of
Right.
all the people who's not pro. It's trust the science,
Yeah,
for everybody who's not pro that
right,
narrative.
right,
So, I was like, you know what? And plus, I know we're going to this social credit based system. Like, I mean, you just heard they announced the metaverse, right?
yeah,
So I mean, our world is literally changing before our eyes. Like, I don't, it's a lot of people who's not paying attention, but
right,
our world is literally changing at a rapid speed. Like, things are
right.
changing so fast, and we're literally witnessing it real time, like living in this simulation real time.
Yep,
Like there's there we're moving into a whole nother paradigm. Like, it's a whole
yeah.
paradigm shift right now.
System. Right,
Yeah, it's a whole shift. Like literally, we're getting ready to inherit the whole earth.
right,
But if you're
exactly.
not paying attention, you gonna
Right,
miss it.
exactly.
You gonna miss it, and that's really what Left Behind is.
And that's what
That's
I feel like.
really, yeah.
No, go ahead.
So that's really what it is to be, what it means to be left behind, because, like, the second coming is all about Christ consciousness.
Exactly.
It's all about raising your vibration, getting in alignment with spirit, like, and kind of connecting with your tribe and things like
Right.
that. And so I first of all, I on the socials, I literally unfollowed every celebrity, every I wanted to clean up my timeline, so the things that I looked at every day and scrolled through every day, because I'm on there anyway because I do business there.
Yeah.
So if I gotta do business here, and this is a space that I frequent often, I want to make sure the things that I'm seeing and putting in my psyche
Right.
are positive, are
Right.
uplifting me, not stressing me out, like not
Causing
making me,
traumas.
solve all these 50 million problems in my head in addition to the 50 million problems I already am solving in my head.
Right. Exactly.
So I wanted to create the Alchemist Lounge because I feel like since we're moving so fast, we're going to a space where people are gonna have questions, like, and I feel like everybody is somebody else's light bulb experience. So, like, we all learn different, right? We all come up different, we all have different experiences, we came from different environments, but we all, for the most part, are human and have certain core values as a human.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so I wanted to have a space where because this earth is changing, like, we're going to a golden age, and I want to create that reality, um, cohabitally with other people, like, because we're
Right.
all co-creators with God, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
because with this whole pandemic thing, like, we're literally also adding to the fire. Like, we're needed to collapse the wave. Like, we have to start
Play our
speaking
part. Yep.
the way that we are supposed to speak. Like, you literally have a whole bunch of irresponsible gods out here basically speaking things into existence. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Exactly.
with the movies, people talk about the movies, they call it predictive programming and everything all the time, but is it predictive programming, or are we literally like manifesting things that
Creating it ourselves.
we're creating our reality, right?
Right,
Because thoughts
exactly.
become things, right?
Right,
And you can't say anything without thinking it first, right?
right,
So we're literally creating these environments and these issues and these everything that happens every day. We're literally creating it every single day. And so
yeah,
I want to be a part of creating the golden age, the world where all of the politics and the slave stuff and the racism and all the stuff that keeps us in this lack mindset, like
right,
all the stuff that keeps up in this debt-based system. I just want to create a whole nother world where none of that exists, you know?
exactly. Right,
And so for me, the Alchemist Lounge is a place where I am being me and at my most evolved self, getting ready to evolve more, you
exactly.
know?
Yeah,
Because we're always learning, we're always detoxing, we're always, I like to say, every time you learn something, you know nothing. Like, you have to learn something else. Like, the more you know, the more you don't know,
right. And it
you
keeps
know,
going. Right,
and
exactly.
keeps going. And
It's
so
amazing.
I just kind of want to have a space where people like me are on the same page, because
Right,
everybody's not going to go, everybody can't go,
right.
you
Exactly. No,
know.
that's serious. And that's interesting that you say it. Like everything you just said, I mentioned on my last live. And I thought about it. I was like, because I put up a clip the other day, but I archived it. I'm gonna bring it back out. But yeah, it was basically like the same thing. It was basically like the pandemic really was just like that transitional moment. Like, how else can you get an entire? It wasn't just the United States that was
Right.
going through a pandemic. It was the entire world. Okay,
The whole
so
world.
it's like, how else do you get a group of people to do one thing? Stay inside, or so that you can rearrange an entire system. So by the time everything gets back rolling, it's like, okay, either you're playing catch up or you're already right along,
Right.
or you're going to be transitioned into this system. And
Right.
like you said, I mean, it's pretty much like land grab time, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's leverage. So it's like it's empowerment in the like in the crypto and the blockchain world, because you can literally extract wealth out of there, which
Yeah.
is why so many people are becoming wealthy, dealing with like stocks and investing in options and trading and crypto. And like people have been becoming wealthy on these things for a while, but now that crypto is here, like that's a whole nother system overall, and it's more
Yeah.
autonomous. And
Yeah.
so it gives you control of like creating your own bank.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I even created mental health to wealth, is because I really need people to understand, first of all, the mindset that you need to have in order to even be in this world. Because even looking at the debt, the $1 trillion debt or whatnot, it's in the trillions. And when they break it
Mhm.
down, it's $80,000 per person, and that's including children. And that's not even just including the people that are alive now. This is like generations as well, which means that at a minimum, everyone should be making six figures.
Facts.
So it's like, if you really think about it, and then they already say if you have children, you should be making your age, and if you have children, it's double that pretty much. Whatever
Yeah.
their age is, it's like double that. So it's like it's very imperative that, like you said, that we use our voices and we literally be those the people that's gonna bridge the gap. Because once you get the mindset, you need to go ahead and walk over the bridge and pick up all these other pieces, lay the
Yeah.
groundwork and
Yeah.
start creating wealth the best way possible
Yeah.
outside of what they're doing, because that's already a demise. They
Right.
already know they lost. They
Facts.
just
And
trying to suck
you
more
know,
people
we're
in.
we're at the scales here. It's the biggest wealth transfer.
Right.
That we're literally witnessing it in real time.
Right,
Like
exactly.
we are that generation, a hundred
Yeah,
percent that generation, right?
exactly. Yeah, it's
We are
definitely
100% that generation, like the biggest wealth transfer. But if you're not in alignment, if you're not paying attention, if you just brushing it off, like you, because this is how the wealthy stays wealthy and the poor stays poor,
right.
you know,
Exactly.
like, and it really all it boils down is to patience.
Yep, that's it. Yep. Because they've been doing it for years and hundreds of years, and it's like, and that there is a plan. So it's like, just go ahead and map out a plan. Like you said, find people who are like minded, and just
Yeah,
like, and just start toiling and doing what you need to do so that you can be in position to take advantage of extracting from these spaces and places, and also being a creator, being a
yeah,
co-creator with other
yeah,
people, because that's how we, either that's how we'll be on purpose, and then that's how
yeah,
we'll be able to unify with each other. To, even if it came down to, okay, we've extracted all of this, we've got our own land, okay, going back into some type of barter system, or even if it's not that, some type of trade plan, whatever the case may be, we have to be um, autonomous enough to where we're in control of what's going on, creating
yeah.
our own system.
Yeah,
So,
because we have to have, yeah, like you said, we have to create our own system. We have to create our own ecosystem. And I mean, really, that's what, being an entrepreneur and like doing business in your community is about, because like we do business with people in our community. So when you win, I win, and we all come up together, you know?
right,
So like, so, and even with like, so we do business in Virginia. The lady, her mom owns a bake shop and her daughter just opened up a bake shop. And so they're like, y'all need to come and do a pop up out here. So, like
right,
we are in the community, we're working with the community,
right,
and we're helping move culture forward,
right,
like
exactly,
by being in different places and getting the word out, and like being that, because all we can do is be the light in a world full of darkness, right?
exactly.
All
Yep.
you can do is be the light. So we recently had an event with the, because we're big on sovereignty, like we're really big
Right.
on sovereignty. And so our empress over the Shalagi Cherokee Nation just got crowned. She literally she has the allodial title to 3 million acres of land in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. And
Nice.
I don't know if people understand what allodial title means, but that
Right.
literally means like you will have your own nation. Like you
Exactly.
have the United States, which is the corporation, has no jurisdiction over your land. You don't get
Right.
like you, if you want to tax people that's in your nation, that's your business, but you don't get taxed by the Americas.
Right. Exactly.
Like
And that's
this is
major.
your land.
Right. And that's exactly where we're heading.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we had that event, and I had two people ask me, so how do we come and be a part of some of these meetings? They're like, oh my goodness, I came for doggone vegans, but thank you so much for opening me up to this experience,
exactly.
you know? So
Yep.
those moments right there is why I do it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, because it has to be. It's funny that you say that, because it sounds, in my head, I'm seeing like, so I had this image on my wall with like Harriet Tubman, Nipsey Hussle, um, Martin Luther King, like all the greats or
Mhm.
whatever. Even though we know some of the backgrounds are kind of tarnished, just a little bit. But as far as the persona going forward, like, and it's just so funny because when I'm hearing you say that, all I'm hearing is like, yeah, that's the front way to get in, to get everything that you really need. Like, you
Mhm.
gotta have, you gotta have your front, your storefront, and then when
Mhm.
people come in, they get the info. It's the Underground Railroad, overground,
Yeah.
the
Like
digital
literally.
railroad. You know,
Literally. And that's a concept that Atlanta taught me, okay?
right? It's right,
Because
exactly.
Atlanta is literally like people in Atlanta, they always gonna have a little system somewhere. you
Some
know,
right,
because we got a little system in Atlanta ourselves too.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
So, we got our own little ecosystem and people we deal with, in different areas. And the Atlanta is like the queen of underground business.
Exactly. Like you gonna
But
find
we pivot.
something, right? So, man, so I appreciate you for sharing everything. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to hold you for too much longer, but I just want to make sure. I mean, we really have tapped into everything. If so I appreciate you for sharing everything because like I said, everything we've discussed is really the point of doing mental health to wealth. And this is literally like and it's also for me a way to remain consistent in putting out
Yeah,
content and just having a reminder for us really needing to bridge the gap because I know mental health is a really big issue because
yeah,
even I know like yesterday, you know, everybody was, well, not everybody, but hip hop community, rap community, trap community was mourning the loss of Young Dolph.
yeah.
And I went back to his last tweets, and they were literally he was saying the last two tweets was him saying the doctor just told him it was October like the 21st or something, and the doctor had told him that he needed to spend more time by himself. And he was like TF, he was like the fuck. And then the tweet before that, he was saying how he just found out that he had anxiety. He never knew what that was. Like he didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, I'm listening. I'm just like, well, I'm not listening, but I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
imperative that we recognize like here this young man is creating wealth. He's having anxiety, and on a spiritual level, that could have been anything. That could have been the people that were around him. That could have been a intuitive nudge to kind of get him to pay attention. And like the doctor said, spend more time with yourself because you might have too much energy around you that's lurking and doing a few things.
Yeah.
Just like, and it could have been preparation for him to tune in and know that things were about to take place too. You
Yeah.
never know why it's so many reasons why you could be experiencing anxiety. So
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was just like, yeah, we got to keep going because it like it's it's just too many avenues that we need to bridge in order for people to get into the right mindset and just understand certain things before we even, because you can create wealth. It's a lot of people creating wealth first, and then they got to kind of backtrack into going through like their spiritual path and all those things.
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
you start the spiritual path first, and then you like, okay, well, like they say, broke don't mean woke. Woke don't mean
Yep.
broke. So
Yeah.
I
But
need to
you
get
but
some
you
money.
have to like literally unlearn so much stuff and then
Right.
relearn a whole bunch of more stuff. It's like, and then time is, like the different events happen so fast, and like we're so in the dopamine culture, right? we're
Yeah.
we're in the we're in the cash app culture, right?
Yeah.
So we're so ready for that hit of dopamine first, like
Right.
it's got to come quick,
Yeah.
and sometimes our hearts is moving faster than reality, and
Right.
so in certain aspects, like it just, you have to be a well balanced person, and I mean that goes in different areas. It's a holistic way of life, like
Right.
it's just,
Exactly.
knowing your body, understanding yourself, listening to your body, knowing when you need to rest, knowing when you need to up your herbal game, knowing when you might need to detox, knowing when you might need these signals that the body gives us are just things that we just need to start paying attention to.
Right.
So
Exactly. All right, cool. Well, I really appreciate you for coming on today. I think
yeah,
this was
for
a
sure.
very powerful session, and I can't wait till, because I got to start chopping up my videos or whatnot so I can start just like putting out different clips. So we
Yeah.
got plenty of clips that's gonna come from this session. But
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for
what's your,
having me. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get more comfortable being, cause like I'm not, that's not really my thing for real. Like,
yeah,
because I be feeling like you have to like pretend and perform and shit, and like that's just not me.
yeah,
Like
not yeah.
I
We need
just
it like
so, being able to just like be on camera and just be me, like that's another reason why I created the Alchemist Lounge, because this is my space. I'm doing whatever I want to do over here. Like
right,
if you don't have a I'm doing whatever I want to do over here. Like I'm gonna talk what I want to talk. I'm gonna share what's on my heart. I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
right,
You know.
exactly.
And
And that's what I
so
thought about doing too, just creating like a little private space
yeah,
where you can just be your true authentic self. Because
yeah,
even just for this platform, this is still more like it's I'm gonna keep it authentic because I want people to get the information that they need, but it's still, like a limitation for like my
yeah,
creativeness.
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying though.
Yeah. And I mean, with censorship, like you can't say certain things anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a free space. So
right,
it's a funnel. What Instagram is and these social networks are a funnel to the product, Like
exactly.
it's just so I'm just like, okay, just use the tool for what it is.
Exactly. And that, yeah, and that's really all it is. It's just a tool to go ahead and, like you said, the same way that we can extract from cryptocurrency and blockchain and all those things and create wealth, you do the same thing on these platforms to get people going into that world, or
Yeah.
that storefront for the for the underground, so
Right.
what they
But this
need
is
to keep
yeah.
growing.
Yeah, that's all what is leading to this wealth transfer and the transfer of power. Like we keep moving and shaking like this and creating our own opportunities and dealing with crypto and the blockchain and stuff because it's everything is verified. Like that's what they don't like about it.
Exactly.
That's what
Authentication.
they don't like about it. Like
Yep.
everything is verified. You can't be doing sneaky stuff. You can't just, and they want to keep us in this little dollar system that ain't valued for nothing.
Right. Right.
But the more we learn about this kind of stuff and hear people talking about this kind of stuff and being involved and seeing success stories from this kind of stuff, that
Exactly.
is how you move culture forward. And that is how we go into a golden age.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, I appreciate it. What's your website?
So my website is www.imagineedencc.com. That's for the herbals where you can get your, elderberry syrup and your teas, blends. And then the website for Doggone Vegans is just www.doggonevegans.com. And then I'm on the Alchemist Lounge. I post new videos every week. I do garden tips. I share my holistic experience with gardening on a balcony, in the small space, wherever you are, you can grow food. And I talk about different things, in life. And I have like this whole session where we do like wild thoughts of the alchemist. I have
Right.
conversation with Bay. I do videos of cooking and like recipes, all kind of stuff. So it's just the whole vibe, okay?
Cool.
And you can just go to my Instagram page at Imagine Chef Mal and click the link in the bio.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you for being here again. And everybody that tuned in, we had some people that drop in. Any replay viewers, if you're here for the replay, you made it this far. I appreciate you. And we'll definitely stay linked in. Have a great night.
All righty. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
Talk better. You too.
All right.